On this last episode of Delivering Marketing Joy in 2014, we take one more look back and see how well I did at answering questions.
But you're doing a lot of juggling and trying to manage your business, and there's a lot of this stuff is new for you too.
Absolutely.
And I think you're foraying into new territory. So I wanted to ask you, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? So I think the short answer is cash flow and teenage daughters.
Are those things connected?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
No, I think as a small business owner, you're constantly trying to grow, and candidly, we were talking a little bit before we got on here about trying to make sure that you're growing, but growing in the right way, and making sure profit margins are the way they are. That's something that I want to make sure of. And then, yeah, you talked about your legacy, and I feel the same way. I have 2 teenage daughters right now, and I want to make sure I do that right. So that's the thing. And then, to flip it, I think as small business owners, we spend a lot of time on the things that do keep us up at night. And I think sometimes, though that's super important, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be keeping us up, we need to focus on the things that get us up in the morning. So that we are invigorated. I will tell you, I woke up this morning excited to talk to you, excited to work on this show. And I mean that with all sincerity. And so I think when we flip the script and focus on the things that get us up in the morning, maybe it's a little bit more of a fun day. And so that's I guess that's my 2 cents.
I've known you almost 15 years, and you've really embraced the value proposition of delivering marketing joy, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, thanks.
What event or events brought you to the value proposition, and what's the best demonstration of a client really embracing that joy?
Wow, great question. So, I think it was an evolution that got us there. I think, again, me, and if you follow us online, we're a pretty positive group. We like to have fun. That's what, and I've said for a long time, A, I think we are in a fun business, and B, I want to create a place where I want to come to work each morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, by that, I mean, we're watching funny videos that some might deem inappropriate on a regular basis. We do fun stuff here because I think we should. But it's interesting. I was in the business for a long time, and we do a customer appreciation event. And a couple years ago, the event had gotten bigger and bigger, and so we had suppliers sending in boxes in advance of the show. And so every day, new stuff was coming in. And despite the fact we sell these promotional items for a living, every day it was like the whole staff gathered around when the UPS man came in, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's like a little bit of Christmas. And that was kind of the inspiration. I'm like, okay, everybody, if we do our job right, everybody feels this way. And so that's where the idea came from, delivering marketing joy. And I think, kind of on the other side of it, what gives me what gets me excited is, we do work hard at trying to tell that story. And so when clients come back to me and say, hey, see this is a piece of marketing joy, and they start to quote the message back to me, I feel like maybe we've done something right. So I think
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the best. So
Kirby, again, thinking of it from the content perspective, let's think about this video series itself and the fact that, you've gotten a few episodes in the can now, and I personally have expressed to you how impressed I am with what you're doing. But for Hasseman as an organization, how does this series really fit into your overall marketing mix? And then how are you trying to measure its effectiveness?
Well, great question. And so what I would say about it is a couple things. One of the things that we put up goals for the year each year, and we talk about there's sales goals, and there's adding team members, and there's profitability goals, and they're just right over here. But one of the things I wanted to do is to increase our company's national recognition for some of the things that we were doing and I think that one of the ways to do that is to increase, quite frankly, my personal brand within that. And I think This show does a couple different things. Obviously, it creates content that I think will be valuable. I think it does put us in an expert and a credible position, like you had mentioned. You know, I think it also helps us show clients the way to do it,
Yes.
and to do it and to lead by example. As for measurement, candidly, I really don't know yet. This is a brand new experiment for us, and I think that when you try something like this, you mentioned you have to be willing to fail, but I also think you have to be willing to have patience.
Right.
And so I told you we had several episodes ready to go, so that when we got going, I wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to continue it. I think that what happens is a year from now, we'll be able to say, oh, okay, so that led us to here. And I think when you're starting a new endeavor like this, you have to be willing to kind of put in that kind of time before you really realize exactly how you're going to measure it. And that's, and not every endeavor is the same, but I think when you're doing something like this, it's a long-term play.